Grab your joysticks and party like it's 1999 because this is the Third Wheel Arcade 2018 wrap-up extravaganza. That's a mouthful, kind of like Dan. So we are going to discuss the 2018 games this week, and by extravaganza, I obviously mean that in typical Third Wheel style, that's a complete bullshit lie. We have about an hour to work with tonight, and we're going to try to discuss everything that happened in 2018. Yep. So fingers crossed we can pull it off. There's not going to be any funny characters this week, any random guests that show up. The only funny characters you're going to have on your show are myself, Dan, and Van.
Ooh, baby.
Dan and Van.
Dan and Van. I need a name that rhymes. Why didn't they think of that?
Old Dan.
Nah, this is Dan, isn't it?
That's fucking stupid.
The man. Dan, Van, and the man. All right. We wasted enough time.
Not quite yet.
That beautiful, illustrious man over there is my co-host with the most, Dan Rodriguez. Say hi, Dan.
What's up, everybody? It's Dan. Sorry we've been away for a couple weeks. We've had a lot of work stuff, many injuries to my body because I'm a klutz. Stuff happens. So I appreciate you guys coming back. If you do, if you don't, it's going to be a very lonely show. That's okay. We're just going to talk about games like we always do. It'll be fun.
Yes, we are.
It'll be fun. We're going to have a good
time.
Then
our very first third wheel experience for, well, solo third wheel experience. You know him as Butcher Van.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Glad to be here, and I'm excited about what we're going to be talking about today. And
that makes
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the future brings for 2019 as well.
Me too.
That should be a very interesting discussion for sure.
Yes, it should. I'm sure that some guys will go into it at some point after Van does some tricks on the parallel bars back there.
Yes, let's do it. I've been practicing all week.
Really?
No. No. I'd probably bust my ass, and then I wouldn't be able to get back up, and then you guys would just see a crippled guy on the floor over there.
You just do the show from the floor.
Yeah.
I could just start yelling and screaming from across.
I really like God of War. Ouch. It was awesome.
I could just go use the pull-up bar over there once, and I'll be tired for a week.
Yep.
Okay. That's good. It's a workout show now. Wouldn't that be great if we did workouts live on the show and then could never talk again?
Nope. It wouldn't happen. I don't even know what that word means.
See, you guys are lucky. You have your, said man caves inside. Mine is inside my garage.
That's all right.
Oh, so, I'm in my bedroom right now. If I drop this green screen, it would you'd see my bed.
Yeah. I just happen to have a fortuitous setting behind me. That's all. Normally, prior to this, it was pretty bad.
Dan did a show in front of a black wall for a year.
A year? It was terrible. At least you're an actual man.
At least that black wall had some accents to it. It had some dents and dings and stuff.
It had a hole in
it. So let's talk 2018. We're going to talk about the games that we loved, the games that we hated, the games that we couldn't get to, and all things that surprised us along the way.
What have you been playing recently, though?
Exactly.
You good son of a bitch.
Pew, pew, pew. Anyway, Van, since Dan was so eager to get to this, you can tell us, what have you been up to recently?
What have I jumped into recently?
Yeah.
You know, what's funny is when I finished Red Dead, I was like, all right, I need to start getting onto some of my backlog and get into some of these games before 2019 because the first 4 months of the year are going to be insane. So I was just about to start to play some backlog, and then the Xbox sales came out, and so then I bought Assassin's Creed or Odyssey, and I started playing that, and now I'm heavy into that game. That's actually a really good game. Yes. And it's the first Assassin's Creed game I've actually liked in many years. So
it's really good. We even got one of our third wheels, Ains, playing it, and he actually enjoyed it. It's his first one he's ever finished.
Yeah, and then like every single time Cassandra can make love to a character, I'm like, yes. Like purposely trying to like get her to like make out with the other chick or whatever.
Okay.
It's like a goal of mine now. I'm like in the game. I'm like, oh sweet, encounter. Maybe I can get them to make out.
I appreciate that. You know, that was one of the things that bothered me about The Witcher is throughout the entire game, Geralt can bang anything and everything he sees. But there were people online who were complaining that Ciri couldn't do the same thing. But a lot of people got on those threads and said some very awful shit. Just like, Ciri should be innocent until she gets with Geralt. And I'm like, what is wrong with all these people? Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What? I thought she was like 16 or something.
Yeah.
Okay, that wasn't wrong. That's sick.
People on the internet
wrong with Reddit?
So gross. It really was all
yeah,
Reddit.
It doesn't surprise me one fucking bit.
Well, it makes you interested about what's going to be in the future with Cyberpunk as well. You know, knowing how The Witcher turned out, and Cyberpunk's supposed to be a little bit more risque, and that fact, it's
going to be a giant orgy.
Yeah, there probably will be like a mission. Will be like, how many guys can you bang in this room? I don't know. I was just saying.
I hope there's a trophy for it.
Maybe 12.
I mean, I meant by bang, I meant like blow away. Bang bang.
That's not what I meant.
I almost got Assassin's Creed Odyssey too, by the way. But I also just finished Red Dead, and I couldn't bring myself at all to jump into another game that's that long and expansive. I needed to find stuff that's not so engrossing.
Yeah, I understand.
The problem I ran into with playing Assassin's Creed after Red Dead is it feels like a lesser game when it shouldn't, because Assassin's Creed is a really, really good game, but with the graphic design and like the horses and the horse mechanics of Red Dead, you go to Assassin's Creed and you're like, the heck, they didn't spend any time on this horse, you know? Like,
it's funny because a lot of people said how much like the horse mechanics in Assassin's Creed they were like really, really good, and then Red Dead came out and kind of said, no, you were wrong. This is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so. I mean, Assassin's Creed by all means is a really good game. It looks really good, but playing Red Dead first and then going to that, like, it kind of ruined me a little bit.
Yeah. So I'd imagine that's all you've had time to play.
Yeah, so far. I'm only level 20 so far in Assassin's Creed, but I'm liking it so far.
Okay.
Nice.
Dan, what about you? What have you been playing and getting into?
Oh, okay. So I started just a few days ago. I started Yakuza 0. Right. I played a little bit of it before. It was like, and then something came out. I really, really wish I had played it a lot back then because that shit was awesome. I mean, it was awesome. I'm still playing it. I heard there was like 17 chapters. I'm in 4. They're like, it takes 30, 40 hours. I'm like, bullshit. There's no way I'm going to finish this in 30 or 40 hours. I'm just trying to blast through the main stuff. But it's really, really good. Super, super weird. Creepy at points. There was a mission where I had to go and shut down a woman or a high school girls' underwear ring. So, speaking of Ciri, they were selling their underwear to gentlemen, like used underwear.
I don't think "gentleman's" the right term, but go ahead.
Yeah, maybe
guys
not.
On Reddit talking about Ciri.
Right. So that was super weird. I jumped right from that to a side mission about teaching a dominatrix how to be a very good dominatrix. So that was cool. Thought I did a pretty good job with that. Actually ended up in the room while she was practicing. So, I think I did it right. But the game's fucking weird. That's it. It's really just like all these weird little side things. I'm just like, what the fuck? I played karaoke. I was like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. But the main story is actually kind of cool. And the mechanics are really good. I've had a really good time with it so far. I'm probably going to play through that one, then Kiwami or whatever the hell it's called, and then the 2, and then obviously jump to 6 because I have no other ones. I don't even know if the other ones are out. But aside from that one, before that I played Grease on the Switch. That game is up there as in top 5 for me this year. It's all the things I like about a game. It's like a good puzzle platformer. The art style is gorgeous. I've taken more screenshots with that game than any other game I've ever played. It's just cool looking.
Can you share Can you share the screenshots on Switch?
Yeah, I did. I think I said I shared one on there.
Okay.
Or two. So I played that, finished it. Can't die. There's no enemies, so it's kind of perfect for my easy playthroughs. But it really wasn't super easy. There were some pretty tough puzzle parts. But it's just it's kind of one of those stories that are super artsy, which I'm not a huge fan of usually. But it really, I don't know. It didn't hit me in the feels because I think that's stupid. But it just it was just really well done. You can do a story and not be like super heavy-handed, and still kind of be a little bit mysterious. And then you can be super heavy-handed and make it just ruin the whole thing. This one was just nice, enjoyable. It's kind of like a nice little break from everything else I've been playing. So definitely a top 5 game this year. But we'll get to that later. What about you, Alden?
Well, I have been playing, like I said, I finished Red Dead, and Red Dead was one of those things. Witcher did the same thing to me, where I finished it, and it was so engrossing that I couldn't just jump into something else right away. I needed to take a few days off from playing anything. So luckily we had a trip planned anyway, so I took some time off from playing. I didn't bring anything with me. I said it on Twitter. I wish I had. I'd thought about bringing my PS4 and the PSVR so the family could try it. And I ended up not, but it really made me miss or wish that I had a Switch. I've kind of always toyed with the idea of getting a Switch, but I don't need it, and there's other things that are more important to me. There's more games for me to play than I could possibly play anyway. But if I had a Switch on that vacation, it would have been fantastic. And Dan's got like things falling in his.
Shit, what the fuck was that, man? Something just fucking fell outside. I need to go.
It's not another tree coming through your roof, right?
God, I hope not. I'm not gonna go look.
I'll talk games for a second.
This is live action.
Live action. Let's see what Dan finds coming through his roof. And then we're gonna rate it. We're gonna rate it 1 through 10.
Dang, I wish I was there. I could have like a follow cam, and be filming it as he's going through.
That would have been great.
Do like Resident Evil style.
Probably just a child that fell. No big deal.
No big deal.
Oh yeah.
No big deal.
It's just a child that fell.
Yeah.
So I took some time off and I came back and I wanted to play something completely different. I started playing The Forest last night. And
yeah, tell me about this forest.
So the forest, it's really fun. Is it
scary?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, then that's a no.
It really hasn't had any moments where it scared me much. But there are a lot of kind of. So your plane crash lands in the middle of a forest on an island, and you have nothing. So you just kind of have to forage for resources and try to survive.
That old trope.
But the game doesn't give you any sort of hand-holding at all. It's just, there you go. Now do it. And you don't know what it is or what you need to find. I didn't want to look anything up online for at least a little while, so I just kind of jumped into the experience blind. And there are mutants or whatever, or cannibals, and these weird like things that run after you and will just kind of jump up out of nowhere and scare you. So that might scare you. And it does. So it sucks. It doesn't autosave. You have to go to your home or whatever you've built to save. And I had a point this morning when I was playing that I had accidentally cut a tree down onto my house, so I couldn't save. So I had to build a new house, and then over the course of all that, I got sidetracked doing some other things that I saw off in the distance. I wanted to build like a satchel so I could carry my stuff in, so I could carry more things. And while I was out there, I got attacked by mutants and whatever, and they killed me, and I lost all my progress. But
is this game a Steam-only game?
It's not. It came out on Steam in like 2016 in early access. And then it came to Xbox and PS4 a couple months ago.
Really? I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, I knew it was on PS4. I didn't realize it was on Xbox.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe it's just PS4.
It might
Yeah.
be. But it's a super fun game, and it kind of gives me something completely different. I won't lie though. I've had there's a lot of hunting in the game, so I've had a lot of issues. I'm so used to playing Red Dead. I've been playing Red Dead for 2 months, and I'll be in the forest and I'll be tracking a rabbit, and the rabbit will run off, and I'm like shit, and I'll hit the two thumbsticks to try to track its trail, and that doesn't work in this game.
Goddamn Red Dead.
The
Ruining
hunting is
all
so
the
good in
games.
Red Dead, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really is.
That's the problem.
The hunting is probably better than it is in the forest, but it's fun to learn. I think I'm gonna have a good time with it. I hope I can stick with it and see it through. I'm worried that I won't get very far without looking some things up, because there is a point to the game and there is a story to the game, but you kind of piece it together as you play, and I don't know how that comes about. I've really tried to stay pretty blind to this game so I could go into it. A lot of people will play it with people. You can play online with other players, and from what I was reading online, that it's less scary when you have more people because you can gather more resources quicker. You know, you kind of have a lookout, so if you guys see somebody off in the distance, they're not just going to jump out and scare you. But it's pretty fun. I also went back to Celeste today just to kind of break up the monotony and play and try to get the platinum. I'm a trophy nerd. I don't know if you guys know this about me.
Celeste. Played it.
I have 59 platinum trophies right now, and the dumb website I use, psnprofiles.com, to track your trophies. This is so nerdy. There's going to be like 2 people who listen to this and go, "Oh yeah, I get it." But it lists like milestones along the way. So like every 10, it'll say your 10th platinum was, your 20th platinum was. So in my head, I've started to try to plan out what my 10th, 20th, 30th, 50th, 60th platinum is going to be. So
You are such a nerd.
I know. As soon as I started talking about it, I was like, I wish I hadn't started talking about this.
No, you really shouldn't have. That's all right. Keep going.
I want Celeste to be my 60th platinum, so I'm working on that.
All right, that makes
Celeste
sense.
is so good. One of the best games of the year, but I'm pretty sure we'll talk about that soon. Another thing that I've done is I've watched Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse 3 times in the last 3 weeks.
Shit.
Yeah.
Damn.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I watched it once yesterday.
I went once with my fiance, the second time with a friend from work, and third time with the kids and my sister and her kids. So I think I'm done until it's out on Blu-ray.
You know what's so crazy about that movie is the art style in that movie is so good that there's points in it when I was watching that movie where I was like, man, is that real life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or yeah, or is that still hand drawn or or drawn or however? And it was just so good. I was like, wow. Like every time I just kept watching him when he's swinging through the city and stuff or anything, and I was just like, wow, the art style is amazing in this movie. But
it really is almost a perfect animated, at least, movie. The art style is so cool and different. I guess from what I heard, Sony's trying to patent the system that they use to make the art on that game. It's really interesting. It's different than anything else I've ever seen. I've watched that there was a making of kind of like short documentary where they showed some of the art styles, and they showed what they did. They took these like computer generated models and they said, this looks too like bland and normal and almost it looks too good. Like these characters look too perfect. So they added lines to their faces so that it would look more harsh and comic booky. Just some of the stuff they did, like there's different frames where the art frames will move, but the background frames won't. Or there's different places where it's the opposite, where the background will move and the art frames aren't actually moving and the character's just kind of static there for a split second. I don't know. It's really cool what they did. The music is amazing. The story is amazing. The characters are amazing. The humor was great. It really is one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. It's definitely my favorite Spider-Man movie. But Miles Morales is my favorite Spider-Man, as we all know. So
it definitely was my favorite Spider-Man movie, and not only that, but I like how they gave the nod to all the previous Spider-Man movies in the movie as well.
That was awesome.
And then they still had the Stan Lee stuff, and I don't know. I just thought it was really cool the way they did it, but they're kind of making fun of the previous movies, but also like giving them their nod to the genre.
Yeah, I don't cry, but much. But the fucking Stan Lee scene, 3 times in a row, I have teared up, and like even knowing it's coming, I'm like, oh fuck, like oh no, Stan Lee.
You're a pussy. Ah, that's all right, man.
But you guys all liked it too, Dan?
I did. It was
Okay.
awesome. I really have no complaints about it. It was pretty cool. Who played his dad? Who did the voice? Because I kept sitting there wondering who the hell did the voice for his dad. It sounded so familiar, and I never looked it up.
I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know who played that one, but I heard Nicolas Cage in there as the old Spider-Man.
Uh-huh.
He was
And
who?
He was the
noir
retro
guy?
Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't realize that?
No. It didn't sound like him.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, it did.
Nicolas Cage.
Perfect.
Talk about Into the Spider-Verse for a second while I look this up, Dan.
Look this up. So, what I liked, the art style, animation, whatever it is called, awesome. Good story. There's really nothing bad you could say about it. I guess I didn't know who the little girl was with the robot. I've never seen that before, so no clue. I still don't understand it. But I also stopped collecting comics, like I said, back in like 2000. So I missed a lot of this stuff, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there was the Spider-Verse comic book, like whole big thing. But a lot of these characters came from that, and a lot of the characters in that Spider-Verse were thrown in there, and it was so many Spider people. Like it did get to the point where it was too many. But
did the same guy play I can't even talk about it without spoiling it. I know the guy who played Peter Parker, like the Spider-Man in the. I know that guy. I didn't really recognize any of the other voices, I guess, in the whole thing, except for obviously Stan Lee and apparently Nicolas Cage. Yep.
Yeah, there were a lot of
perceptive I was.
famous people doing voices that you wouldn't expect. So the guy that did Miles's dad was Brian Tyree Henry.
Gosh, it sounded so familiar.
I don't know this guy from anything. I mean, he was in Atlanta. I've never seen that, but I hear it's good. I don't know. This is just IMDb minute, I guess, but he wasn't in a whole lot. But Lily Tomlin was Aunt May. Jake Johnson was Peter Parker, obviously. John Mulaney, you don't know John Mulaney. He was Spider-Ham.
I know John Mulaney.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Know that guy.
And
The
Liv,
Spider-Ham was funny, man. That guy I was cracking up on that one.
Yes.
Liv Schreiber, whatever, was what's his name? Big guy. Fisk.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Don't know any of this stuff.
Anyway, we've talked more about Spider-Man than we have time to talk about the rest of the stuff. How was 2018 for you guys?
Oh, Haley Steinfeld was Gwen Stacy. Oh, okay, that makes sense now.
Ah, yeah. All right. I know her.
All right, now it's coming together.
Yeah. I can't. I'm not gonna say it. Okay. Yeah, she was awesome. Haley.
Yes, she was.
All right.
But I'm glad that everybody in the world got to see Miles Morales on this big stage. It's so fantastic. He's a great Spider-Man. He's such a good, and we talked about it on another show when the game came out. But Miles Morales is such a perfect Spider-Man. He's such a flawed character, and it adds so much more to the character. But anyway, 2018. Dan, how was your 2018 in games?
Like in general, it was fantastic, as it usually is. No shortage of good games, no shortage of shitty games. Nice surprise here and there. I mean, it's awesome, man. I mean, gaming right now is it's an awesome time to be into it, and yet people I know still find ways to complain and bitch and whine and stuff, and that's fine. You're an idiot and a loser. I'm just saying that right now. Just stop. All right. It's okay not to like something, but if you want to get out there and just completely bash the whole fucking goddamn hobby because you're butthurt over a tweet or some fucking outlet decides to put something up that you don't necessarily. Shut up. Stop. Nobody cares.
Agreed.
Ignore it, and this shit will go away. It'll go away. So I'm trying to tell people, stop bringing shit up and focus on the good stuff. We had shit tons of games came out this year. Not all of it, but a ton of which have been just amazing. You know, we had God of War, Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, Forza Horizon 4. All these games.
Assassin's Creed.
Oxenfree.
Fuck you.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, Shadow of the Tomb Raider. You know, all these games come out, and yet there's still people out there that are still not satisfied. That's fine. Go fucking jerk yourself off somewhere. I mean, just get out of here. I don't care about your stupid ass opinion because it doesn't matter to me. Stop talking and go play some of these awesome games. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I
After
agree.
the podcast.
Yes. After the show, please.
Yes.
Thanks.
That sucks that you guys said that. I was literally about to boot up Celeste right now, so I could just play while we talk. But you're right. Like, there's so many good games that come out, and every month there was a great game that came out, at least one. You know, in most months there were 2 or 3 or 4 great games, but there were so many people out there that will spend hours of their time complaining about the games that they didn't like that came out that month instead of focusing on the game that came out that they loved.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, you know, people are going to have opinions. I'm fine with that. It's just there's so much to like. I think you really, you know, unless you end up buying a game for $60 and then it just fucking sucks balls, you know, you really have to look for, you know, some of the shit.
Fallout
you know,
76.
Fallout 76, for example. But, you know, there's people that love that game, right? There's people that love, you know, Sea of Thieves that play it all the time. So, and it's awesome. You know, I mean, that's it. Everybody's got, there's something for everybody right now. And if 2018 didn't prove that there was, you know, a game for every single person that plays them, then I don't know what the hell people are going to want. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, you can't make everybody happy, I guess, but I'm happy. So fuck you guys. Not you guys. You know, the other guy.
That hurt me.
You.
Van, how was your 2018?
My 2018 was really good, and my 3 top games I played was God of War. As far as time-wise, this is time-wise. So God of War was the number 2, I believe. Forza Horizon 4 was my number 1 most played game, which I love that game. I love racing games in general. And the third one, most popular I played, was Destiny 2.
Nice.
Which I don't even know. I don't even remember playing that much of Destiny 2, but apparently I did.
Yeah.
Because I like Destiny 2, but I only go back every so often, and then I do the easy grind instead of having everybody do their daily grind. Because I figured it out. So if you go back every 3 months and you play, then it's a lot easier to get to the max light level, while everybody else is just grinding every day for hours on end.
No, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, so
it does sound bad.
But you know, that's just an example. You know, I mean, it's, you know, some people love Destiny, some people don't know what it means.
And then Red Dead was my other one.
Nice. You know what? Your funny thing is, you're talking about hours played, right?
Yeah.
I played more State of Decay 2 than any other game this year. Wow. I don't understand how that happened.
Really?
Right? Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. Right.
Well, that was a good game too.
I loved it.
I played the hell out of that game. It just didn't. It on the timeline. It didn't make into my top 5.
Yeah, you got that. You're talking about the Xbox thing that they send out.
Well, on between Xbox and PlayStation.
I didn't get one for PlayStation. That's some bullshit. Damn it!
I just realized that I either didn't get the one for PlayStation or I didn't open it.
Yeah, man, garbage.
Yeah, you know how PlayStation sends you the emails of how many hours you've played of the lifetime of your account?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have you don't have that one?
I guess not.
Wow.
I'll have to look at my email.
Yeah, they send you like a monthly report of how many hours you've played on your entire account. So
well, usually every December they send like a whole big long, here's what you played, these are the trophies that you got, these are the most rare trophies that you got. I don't think I got that this year.
Yep.
That would have been great show prep.
Yep. Yeah. Would have been awesome.
Come on, PlayStation. I got a fucking show to do.
PlayStation. I got a lot of thank you for your purchases.
Sorry,
Got it.
PlayStation. Yeah, me too. That's all I see.
Oh my!
I have a problem.
Oh shit! God damn it!
Anyways, yeah. So 2018 was a great year for gaming for me, but it was also a really rough year because one of my good friends passed away this year too. So that took a toll on me for the first half of the year.
Huge.
And you know, like trying to overcome that, and then you kind of don't have a drive to really get into anything. You just kind of feel kind of dead inside, and you have to try and reclaim your spot and come back, and so I'm trying to come back bigger and stronger than ever, and with a lot larger impact on the gaming side of it.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what. That's one of the reasons I asked you, man. I mean, I know Matt, we're talking about here. I mean, and it was hard. I remember we did that. That was actually my first podcast I ever did when I came on to Digital Hoarders, and we talked about them, you guys and Nick, and it was hard to talk about, man. I mean, it really was, and that was one of those things where you life is so fleeting, and you just don't you take all this stuff for granted, right? And he was such a huge part of like gaming Twitter, for Xbox especially. And I'm with you, man. I mean, you knew him better than I did. I mean, your kids played together, right? I mean, I mean, I remember you DMing you and then talking about I think you were supposed to go over a birthday party or something, and it's just like those things. All this other shit doesn't matter when you've got these huge moments like that, and he had a huge impact on not only myself, but I think obviously you and the whole gaming community. Just his attitude was always good. He always had the passion for gaming, and that's what you want to see, I think. And I don't think we see enough of it anymore. We really did lose a really good ambassador, I think, to not only Xbox but also all of the gaming community. That's true.
Yeah, we said it when we did that show. He was such a great dude, and it was really like for a week or two there, everybody on Twitter shut up and stopped complaining, came together and mourned and celebrated. And it's such a shame that it comes to that, to bring people to that. And it's a shame that a month later people forget and get back to calling each other names over fucking puddles and Spider-Man.
Yeah. Not only that, but he was a huge racing fan, so he was excited for Forza Horizon 4, and I know he's looking down on us, getting to play it, watching us play it, and seeing how awesome that game actually ended up turning out, and his favorite game was Sea of Thieves, So, and that game, it had a rough start, but I mean, they're not giving up on that game. So the future of that game I see is going to be, a lot better. So
I hope so. 'Cause with Sea of Thieves, I had a really fun experience for the first week or two playing it, and playing with friends was great. But it did, and it just kind of fell off there. Where I got to the point where I said, I'm going to play something else for a while, and then I'll come back to it. And I just never came back to it because there wasn't a whole lot that kept me coming back to it other than playing with friends and having a good time. And I haven't actually stayed up with it to see what they've added and what they haven't at this point. But I really hope they add enough to create a bigger draw on that game. And with Game Pass, I mean, that game's always going to be there and available for people to get back into pretty easily.
You know what's funny is Sea of Thieves is like the one game that if I was to get a battle royale in, that's the game I would want a battle royale, because
badass.
Like, just think about this. You could have a server of 100 people, so that would be like 20 ships, right? Or how many ever ships you want. And then all of them are fighting for basically this one huge pot of treasure, like treasure chest. Everybody it's like this all-out battle to close in before this storm catches up. Everybody has to get to this chest, fight it, duke it out, and then the last man standing has to take it and cash it in, or the last group. I I don't know. It
Sounds
just
like a
has
game
me
I
so
wanna play right now.
it has me excited
Yeah.
because like a entire ship warfare kind of thing,
See, now
battle royale would be so cool and it would be so different than everything else out there.
they're releasing Ubisoft's doing a game. Is it Skull and Bones or something like that? Right? That's supposed to be some kind of ship naval combat kind of thing. I guess they would take the stuff from Odyssey or Black Flag or whatever and
Yeah.
make it into something like that. So that might be cool. I don't know if they're doing a battle royale though, as far as that stuff goes. But that would definitely be fucking awesome. So now I can't play Sea of Thieves unless they have a battle royale game where I'm fucking shooting myself out of a cannon at people. So thanks for ruining it.
You know, Diego actually came up with an interesting point in the chat. He says, "Does Sea of Thieves go the route of Minecraft and just continue to update indefinitely, or eventually stop and drop part 2?" Which is really interesting because I feel that's how Minecraft kind of failed. Is they didn't come out with a Minecraft 2. They just keep updating and updating and updating and bringing more content out. And now Minecraft just has so much content. It's overwhelming to get back into it just because there's so much different stuff that you can do, and just like I feel like there's a point in video game where constant updates are good and constant content drops are good, but when you get to too much, then they needed another, like a sequel basically.
Yeah,
Right,
I can see what you're saying, but Minecraft sold 150 billion copies, so I doubt they're really paying attention to it too much. But you're right. I mean, as gamers, they really could capitalize on it. But now it's been so long, and there's so much content that they've released for Minecraft that it's going to be Minecraft 2 is going to be scrutinized so heavily. Like, how do you come out with a Minecraft 2, make it different enough but the same enough for it to be what it could be?
Yeah, there's just too many options.
Well, I mean, they could have turned their Minecraft 2 into like a, how they were always talking about that mega ultra 4K super mega pack where it's going to blow your eye sockets out, and then it just never came out. Like that's where I think Minecraft 2 should have gone, where it's Minecraft but it's better Minecraft. That's where I think that they should have gone, instead of just we're coming out with version 2.0 and it's going to have HD graphics, and your eyes are going to melt like they're in what's that, Indiana Jones.
Yeah, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll announce Minecraft 2 in 2019. Who knows?
Yeah, I think that's what they should have done. And that's the other thing too, is that 4K patch never did come out, so maybe that's what they're planning. I don't know, but
yeah,
it could be.
Well, Dan, what are your most played games you think in 2018?
Well, State of Decay for sure.
Yeah,
because it showed up on my thing. I couldn't believe it. But then again, I also put 300 hours into Metal Gear Solid 5, and I hated that freaking game. So, fucking don't get me started. I'm not even gonna talk about Kojima. Let's. Otherwise, favorite games of the year, God of War was probably my number one. Necessarily in time play, but just as an experience, that game kicked my ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's never been a game like this.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard to, replicate that whole experience. Red Dead 2 was a whole different experience for me. I had my issues with it every once in a while, but you can't sit there and say, hey, this is a bad game. You just can't. It's hard for me to sit there and say, okay, this game was garbage, because there was so much, like, as a technical masterpiece, or just a piece of art. It was insane. I mean, they hit so many good notes. People had problems with the controls. I did. That's fine. Some of the mechanics were a little wonky, but just the amount of stuff that they did and what they fit into that game, insane.
Yeah.
And then I've got a lot of like runner. Just Spider-Man was great. I love Forza. Grease, which I that one came out of nowhere. So there's just so many good ones, and I played a ton of them, and I bought probably more than I actually played.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. I to echo kind of the same thing, God of War was just such an amazing experience for me. But Spider-Man was amazing too, and Red Dead, like you said, I feel the exact same way, which makes this kind of boring to talk about. I guess we need to have more differing opinions.
That sucks.
But Red Dead was, a lot of people will call it the perfect game, and I don't agree with that in the slightest. I had a lot of issues with Red Dead, but in no way, shape, or form can I say that's a bad game. No, it was an amazing game, but it was so huge that like there were the issues over here, but then there was a pile of greatness on the other end of it. And if there was talk about ignoring the bad stuff, if you want to just focus on the good stuff in that game, you can. Outside of the controls, you can ignore anything else negative about that game.
Right.
If you don't like the hunting, don't do it. If you don't like the fishing, don't do it. If you love the hunting, spend 50 hours just hunting. I know a lot of people who did that. Riding horses is fun. You know, if you just want to ride your horse around from place to place, you can do that for hours and hours and hours on end and not even see the same place for over an hour. So that game is just so huge and great that at times became too huge, but you can't say that it was a bad game, I think.
No, I agree.
And Celeste too was another huge sleeper hit for me. I didn't see that game coming out. It kind of came out, and then somebody said, "Hey, I think this game would be great for you." And I said, "No, okay, sure." And then I looked at it, and it really was. It's the perfect game for me. So I mean, that's up there in top 5 for the year for me, easily.
Well, that's good because I haven't tried it yet, and it comes out free for Xbox here next month.
Exactly
so
right.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I
so
heard there was an easy mode.
There is.
Yay!
So in some of my trophy cleanup, I went in and I turned it on easy mode because I got tired of trying to find the collectibles and having a hard time finding them. So I just turned it on easy so it'd make it easier to find them. You literally can turn it on to where you don't die and like you can just land on the spikes and hang out there for a while.
So you can actually experience the story and get
that
the whole thing.
That should be called overly easy mode then.
Or
Let me
Dan
tell you
mode.
something. Yeah, or Dan mode, right? I mean, that's exactly how this shit should be. You see these Dark Souls games, they don't give you that option. Those motherfuckers will just make a game hard, and guess what? I don't get to experience it because, number one, I don't have time to sit there and maybe I can finish it in 3 years, but I've got other shit to do. You know, I like to, take showers and stuff. So, I don't have time to sit here and die 800 times, just because you like to make people angry and, oh, this game is so hard. That's so great about it. Shut up. No, I want to see the story. If you guys put, that's probably what it is. The story of Dark Souls has got to be complete shit. All right. Because they just don't want people to see it. That's my guess. It's like, we're going to make this so hard that we can just make whatever fucking stupid ass story we want and put it behind here because nobody will ever actually see it. And the few that do, well, they're suckers because
there's a lot of people who are good at these games.
Yes. And that's not me. So I'd like to, point out that I suck at video games for the most part. I love Grease so much because you can't die. There are literally no enemies. And it's just a nice little puzzle platformer. I never played Celeste. I do want to play it because I've heard it's got an amazing story, an amazing soundtrack, but I'm not good at those games. It looks like Super Meat Boy to me.
Yes.
Kind of, and I hate that game. I can't stand Super Meat Boy.
I love Super Meat Boy so much.
Exactly. See, now we have differing opinions.
Yes, we do.
See? That's what I did for you. Okay, worst game. Worst game of the year. I just muted my mouth.
You did. I thought you were censoring yourself.
Worst game you've played of the year. That includes betas. You're welcome.
Ooh, there you go.
Van, do you have that ready to go? Because I don't. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, my worst game by far was Fallout 76 that I played, and I didn't buy the game. I played the beta.
Twice.
And yeah, and you know what's funny is a lot of people tell you that they're like, you can't judge a game by its beta. You can't judge it by its beta. The problem with Fallout 76 was their beta was 1 week before the release. So darn well, yeah, I can judge a game by its beta because there's no way that they're going to put a beta out 1 week in front and not have it as close to release as possible. Like, there's no way. There was no way that they would just, oh, we're going to give a 6-month-old version, a week in advance. There's no way they would do that because they want the publicity. They want, oh man, this thing's good and it's fleshed out. And so I tried warning people and telling people, hey man, the beta is not any good. Like, and a lot of people shot me down for it, saying, you can't trust that because that's just a beta and all this stuff, and you can't judge betas. And I was like, you know what? I've played a lot of games that I couldn't mention because I've been testing a lot of games, and games that I can't review and I can't test, but a lot of people don't know that I have that experience, and so they don't know that I've played a lot of betas, and I can tell when a company's either in front or behind, and I think that they should have pushed it back at least 6 months. But so by far that was the worst game I played all year. I mean, there's been like indie titles and stuff, but I'm not a big indie gamer really.
Well, neither's Dan. Dan, what's the worst game you played this year?
Oxenfree.
You didn't play that this year, did you?
I didn't play it. Yeah, I've played it for a while. I want to say Fallout 76, and the problem I have with it is that, and this is for me personally. I played like to level 5, and I got to. I was so bored, like, because there was nobody to talk to. I didn't play with anybody else, and maybe that makes a difference.
Did you pay full price for that game?
Of course I did, because I have problems. Lots of issues.
It went on sale like 2 days after it came out, right?
Right. I wanted to play it. Because I love Fallout. That's the thing. I love the Fallout games. I love 3. I love New Vegas. 4 was okay, but it was still Fallout. So I always thought, okay, they can't get too far from certainly they won't deviate too far from Fallout 4. They could just make Fallout 4 and just make it online. That's what I thought they were going to do. They didn't. Not even close.
Definitely did not.
And that's exactly. I thought they were going to make Fallout 4 online, and you were going to be able to play with your friends.
Right. That would have been perfect.
When that game came out, and I was so disappointed. But I still played it because I loved. Yeah, I still played it. I loved Fallout 4, but I was like, man, they should have totally made this play with your friends. And then they came out with Fallout 76, which is Fallout 4 with your friends, but I feel like it could have been really good. They just had it out way too soon. Like, by all means, it's not a bad game. It's not the worst game out there. It's just the way they implemented it and they pushed it out before it's ready is what made it so bad.
I really think it's one of those games where if they continue to support it a year from now, it might be an amazing game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I don't see them. It seems like they're kind of backing away from it already. So will they still be working on it a year from now? I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be, I guess, my go-to, only because, there wasn't a lot that I was super disappointed in. There were some that I played for like a minute or two, and I was like, the hell with this game. Yeah. I'm done, but there were so many like that. But Fallout was probably my biggest disappointment because I was expecting a little bit more. I mean, I guess I should have known. They announced it like at E3, right? And
yeah,
so it's like, man, they must have been working on this for a while. I don't think they worked on it for like 5 minutes. I mean, it was just, they could have done so much better. And but I'm not going to sit there. I mean, it's probably super hard to make a game. So I mean, good on them for trying. You get that award, I guess.
You get the You Tried award.
Yeah, you get the You Tried. You get the participation award. So
yeah, I haven't played it at all, only because of everything I heard about it. And there's not a lot of time in my life to play games, so I try to avoid games that I'm pretty sure I'm gonna hate.
I mean, if it weren't that one, I mean, I know like Metal Gear Survive came out. I never played it though. So,
right.
You know what pissed me off this year is Madden. I guess that's. I know it's supposed to be the same game over and over again, but it got to the point where it's just such a bunch of bullshit, fucking garbage. Just like, hey, I just fucking threw a pass that went, and this defender fucking transported from fucking the other side of the field and then teleported like fucking Nightcrawler fucking right in front of my goddamn fucking guy. And it's shit like that. And it's been getting that way and constantly worse. And they patched it, and I'm pretty sure they made it fucking worse. So,
what's funny is EA takes advantage of so many people with Madden every year and FIFA and all that stuff because, well, yeah, but the thing is like, okay, it comes out in August for $60, but then in September it's $30.
Cocksuckers.
Because they know everybody wants to get Madden in August because that's right before the start of the season. You know, and then in the end of September, then it's $30 because they know the season's already started and pushing through. So they take advantage of people, and it's basically the same game. They just updated it.
Yeah, I'm not going to make that mistake again.
Yep. Yeah, I haven't bought Madden in several years. I got it in 2018, but I still ended up not really playing it because it is that I got kind of bored of playing the same game every year when there's so many different new experiences coming out all the time, and there's just not time to play everything anymore. Yeah. So to add Madden to that list just doesn't work for me. I'd still get and play MLB The Show every year because that's my jam. But even then, I didn't play it that much in 2018. I got it, but I probably only put 10, 15 hours into it because there's so much that came
more than me. Bought the fucking thing and then didn't play it. It's bullshit. Anyway, what's your worst game?
I think my worst game, and like I said, there's a whole lot of games that came out that I didn't think looked like they were a fit for me, and I just didn't play them. So it's hard for me to say. I have two honorable mentions. I don't think I really have one that takes the cake, but Ni no Kuni 2 pissed me off so bad. I don't even know if it's a good game. My problem with that game is I play 90% of my games in my room on a, 32-inch TV. Maybe it's probably 32 inches. And it's fine for playing games on usually, but Ni no Kuni 2 had the fucking tiniest text in the whole world. You have to be up close to read it.
Ni no Kuni.
In 2018, you should have games that show you, or they give you the option to make the text bigger. Yeah. If you're going to make it that small, I literally couldn't read it from the only way I can play it is if I sit outside, or not outside. If I sit in the living room on the couch and I play it. That's just not where I'm going to sit and play most of my games, especially an 80-hour RPG. I'd rather just sit in bed, play it 2 or 3 hours a night, and get through it that way. So like I said, that might be a good game. I've heard really great things about it, and that's why I ended up getting it. But I wasn't going to sit out there and play it, and it pissed me off so bad. And Far Cry 5 really bummed me out at the end. It's an amazing half of a game, and then it just kind of all falls apart. The game was too long. It was longer than it should have been. They could have made that game half the length and it would have been perfect. But then you'd still have the end that really, really sucked.
Stupid.
Yeah.
What's funny is like I didn't really mind the ending of, or at least the ending that I saw. Well, and it leads into this next game. So I mean,
there is that, and I have to assume with how soon this game is coming out, I think they knew that. I think they probably planned that a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that the new game vindicates my ending from the old game. And we've talked about it before, but Dan and I hated the ending. We know plenty of people that love the ending. I don't begrudge anyone for loving it. It just wasn't for me. It kind of took me out of the whole experience where I spent all that time trying to save the day, and then you get to the end and spoiler alert, because they said it on the stage at what was that at E3? No, at the Game Awards.
Game Awards.
The game ends shitty. Like everything falls the fuck apart. So everything that I did
Boomer
was pointless. Yeah, Boomer dies. Everybody dies. Bombs
fucking
fall.
Hurt, man. He's probably alive.
That Boomer commercial was my favorite commercial of ever.
Yeah. Boomer was the best, man. Now I'm sad. Yeah, so Fallout 5 takes it. I mean, Fallout 5, Far Cry 5.
Fallout 5, same thing. So
anyway,
yeah,
what surprised you guys? There were was a lot that we knew that was coming out this year, but what came out or what news came out that surprised you guys and shocked you? And I think as Dan put it in our chat, what kicked you in the balls in a good way?
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm gonna go with Greece, only because I've been talking about it the entire time, and I really can't not use that one. Another one was probably Monster Hunter World. I know it gets shit on a lot.
What?
The multiplayer was
kicked me in the nuts in a bad way.
Me too.
It was fucking great. I fucking loved it. Actually, that was one of the first multiplats I actually played a lot of on my PS4. You know why I got it on the PS4? Because I thought we'd be playing fucking Monster Hunter together.
Nah.
Fucking yeah, no, that's we did it one fucking time, and fucking so then I ended up buying it for the Xbox too.
that's my bad.
Full fucking price. Listen, I finished. The problem with that game was I never really played a Monster Hunter before, and once you kind of found your rhythm and the right weapon to use, and it was actually not too bad, and I actually really enjoyed it. It was a nice game to look at. It was good graphics. It was just there were some points where it started to get really grindy, which I don't like. A lot of games do that anymore. It surprised the hell out of me. I really didn't think it was going to be something I really enjoyed, but I did, and I played a shit ton of it. So that one, Greece, damn, I can't even think of any more. There were just so many. I was kind of expecting, like with God of War, you're kind of expecting something fucking awesome. So I wasn't disappointed there. But
yeah, when we talked about
the best.
When we talked about that, that's what struck me as so odd, actually, looking back over everything. There was so much about 2018 that we expected and then got. It was all kind of set in stone before 2018 even happened.
Right. Yeah, that, and what was the other one? Well, obviously, I put fucking 150-something hours in the State of Decay 2. Still don't know how that happened, but I, 100%ed it. I guess if it were on PlayStation, I would have gotten the platinum. 1,000 out of 1,000. I played the shit out of that game. So that was kind of a surprising because I didn't care for the first one all that much, but I said, well, it's on Game Pass. Not that it mattered because I fucking bought it anyway. So immediately, but those three games kicked me in the balls in a mostly good way.
Yeah, just to touch on Monster Hunter real quick. I think Monster Hunter is a really cool example of. There are a lot of us nerds out there who played Monster Hunters before now and would talk about it and try to tell everybody Monster Hunter's so good, you've got to try it. It'd be so fun to play with friends. And I think it really hadn't sold well at all. I mean, it sold fine. It sold, I guess, good, but it didn't sell great. I think before this one,
the best-selling Capcom game ever.
Well, yeah, but I think before.
Huge.
Monster Hunter World, the most one of them had sold was 4 million total over its lifespan.
Yeah, the rest of them were garbage.
Yeah, Monster Hunter World, though, came out and sold like 8 million in a month.
300 billion.
300 billion. So it was nice to see everybody get into it and play it, and it is still the same kind of Monster Hunter experience. But I think people like me who've been expecting and waiting for this game, you really thought that they were going to take Monster Hunter and turn it into a multiplayer experience and really focus on nailing that multiplayer aspect of it and just making it so much easier to jump into lobbies and play together. Wow, they didn't nail that at all. That
lobby system sucked.
It was so bad.
They made it hard to play with people if you're going to play through the story. You can play missions together, but you have to. Oh God, it was such a pain in the ass.
It would have been nice if they had like animal tracking like in Red Dead, because the tracking in the Monster Hunter sucked too.
I thought the tracking was okay.
I don't even know. I don't remember it.
Yeah, the flies. See,
those fucking flies.
In most of the previous Monster Hunters, you really couldn't track the animals at all.
Yeah.
And so I kind of liked at least now making it a little bit easier to find the monster that ran away from you, because you get 25 minutes into a fight and the monster up and runs and it's impossible to find, and then your quest ends because it took too long.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that pissed me off about that game is you'd be like fighting it, you're doing good, and then it runs. You're like, okay, the monster runs like once, right? You're like, okay. It ran like 4 freaking times on me, and I was getting all pissed off. I was like, you know what? I'm done.
So
Yes.
Dan, I'm glad you enjoyed that game, but we're gonna shit all over it. Just like this is the
No
Twitter
problem.
experience.
I'm used to it.
Yeah, you get it down to like
Yeah.
10% life, and then it runs away again. You're like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
And it is a good game. I don't want to say it's a bad game, but it was disappointing to me because they could have done it so much better.
All right. So which one kicked you in the nuts? Anybody?
Well, Celeste, I've said that. I think that was the only game that really came out and shocked me as much as it did. Because I didn't expect it, and I didn't see it coming. But the other thing that I was thinking that really shocked me, though, wasn't a game so much as it was an experience, and that's the Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass this year started doing the day one releases. So I mean that they did Sea of Thieves and State of Decay and Forza that way, and that's been a really cool experience too. Ashen. So like Sea of Thieves is a game that probably wouldn't have been as big as it was at launch if it weren't for the fact that it was free with Game Pass. I mean, free with Game Pass. State of Decay is another one that kind of got shit on a little bit in the media, but so many people were playing it because otherwise you didn't have to buy it unless you bought it and played it on Game Pass, like some of us. And Ashen too. Ashen was the one I was thinking of where for a small indie game that otherwise would have been a real niche, like a few people would talk about it and tell me to play it. But I feel like when Ashen came out, my entire Twitter feed was covered in people playing it, including Backseat Gaming with Dan and Ains and Bert. But so Game Pass really kicked me in the balls in a really good way. Even though I didn't play a lot of the games that I could have, it doesn't matter because I'm so glad that experience is there for people. I mean, I've got a friend at work who just got an Xbox One, and she doesn't have to worry about getting 100 games. She just has Game Pass for 3 months. She can go through and try all of these games that she hasn't been able to play.
Yep.
Yeah.
What you, Van?
Oh, I think the game most recently that kicked me in the nuts is Cassandra with Assassin's Creed. She kicked me pretty hard in the nuts.
Fantastic.
You know, it's a lot better of a game than I was expecting because I haven't liked the past Assassin's Creeds. And then
Sound like the fucking Jaws thing. That was good.
The other game that I haven't played yet, but I've watched a lot of streams on, is Black Ops 4, and that's a game that kicks me in the nuts real bad.
Because you don't have it?
I don't own it, but when I watch the streams, depending on if you're watching multiplayer or if you're watching zombies or if you're watching Blackout, it looks like 3 freaking completely different games. Like, I just don't understand how people are just perfectly okay with that. Like, it lost all of its... Like, Blackout does not look like a Call of Duty game. I'm sorry, but the graphics and the way it looks, it just does not look like Call of Duty. It's so blood dry. You know, and that's one of the things that kind of gets me. So I want to play Call of Duty Black Ops 4, but I only want to play it for zombies, and I'm not willing to pay the price that they have right now. So I'm waiting for it to go cheaper.
It's like way cheaper, man.
Yeah.
Just because, I mean, if you're just for one little section of it. But yeah, zombies is always a fun one to play.
Yeah.
That's the thing, you know.
My selling point's $30. So if it doesn't get down to 30, then I'm not getting it.
Battlefield 5 is $30 right now. It's crazy.
Well, yeah, which, you know, I have all those, but I told myself I'm not buying Black Ops unless it's under $30.
Yeah, makes sense. It's another one that I usually get on sale way cheap. I'll probably get Black Ops when it's
World War II is still like $40.
Yeah, but it's gone on sale a few times for under 20, I think.
All right. Black Ops 3 is like $45.
Yeah, it's true.
They are proud of their shit.
They are super proud of their shit, and it's ridiculous. And they need to get off their high horse.
So that's the thing you are enjoying this year?
I am enjoying Assassin's Creed very much so.
Yes.
I would like
Awesome.
to be enjoying Zombies. Wink, wink. If anybody wants to gift it to me.
Bring it on.
Okay. If you're gonna gift, you got to gift 3 though. That's how that
Yes.
works.
Oh, okay. The gift of 3.
Mhm.
Yep.
The 3 wise men, except it's the opposite way.
Maybe I'll talk to Ains. I know he likes to buy gifts for himself.
Yeah, he's got some stuff.
All right, so we got to wrap it up because I literally the second this show ends, I have to get in my car and drive for 6 hours. So
Yay.
if I don't do that soon, I'm gonna fall asleep at the wheel, and this will be the last episode of Third Wheel Arcade.
Yeah, how will we do it? Nobody knows how to publish to YouTube. I'm fucking done.
That's all I'm good for is I hit the little start broadcast button.
Good thing. I don't know any passwords.
So I think next week we'll talk about 2019 and what we expect to see and what we hope to see.
Yes.
And what we hope we don't see. Oxenfree 2. But I think that's going to about do it for this week. Is there anything you guys want to add about 2018 or yourselves, guys? Van first.
I don't really have anything to add about 2018. I just want to thank everybody that's been watching and following me and hanging out, and I really appreciate it. And I've been trying to support as many people as I can in the community. Give feedback when it's due. Stay positive as much as possible, and I'm really, really looking forward to 2019. 2019 is going to be a huge year for everything.
Yeah.
Like everything. If you the entire gaming industry is just going to be disrupted in 2019. I feel like there's just so much good games coming out, so much new progress coming out. It's going to be awesome.
Nice.
Absolutely. Dan?
I'm ready, man. Bring it on the next year. More games that I will not play and buy at full price, except that they're on Game Pass. Then I will get them for free and possibly still buy them.
And possibly still buy them.
There's still a chance. You know what they do? They fucking put out that little extra, nugget. It's like, hey, if you actually prepay for this or pre-order it, you get this stupid skin. Oh, I gotta have that because I've fucking got problems and shit. But yeah, it's been awesome. Great year for gaming. I can't feel my foot right now.
Okay, Van, where can people find you?
You can find me on PlayStation or Xbox at Butcher Van, or on Twitter at Mr. Midlife Crisis, and Crisis is spelt like the game Crisis.
All right.
Not like I'm having a midlife crisis.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of midlife crisis, Dan, where can people find you?
My perpetual midlife crisis. Right here on Third Wheel Arcade. Also on seasongaming.com. You can come check us out there. I did actually a couple of videos over there. We did some backseat gaming stuff, which is kind of fun. Playing Ashen. Lots of stuff going on over there. And just a nice, relaxing, calm atmosphere here at Third Wheel Arcade, which I enjoy. It's been great. My medicine's kicking in too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
All right. Well, Van, thank you for joining us. Your first Third Wheel solo show. You've been fantastic. I'm very upset that you didn't do any tricks on the parallel bars, but I'm glad you're still alive.
I should call my daughter in here to do a hang up upside down on the pull-up bar for you. She'll just be up there swinging around and having fun.
Seems like a cop-out. I really want you to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know about that.
Okay. Well,
we'll work on that.
Yeah. Maybe on my next appearance, I might do a little trick.
All right.
So we'll start the show.
Yeah.
Snap his neck. And we're gonna have to get a different third wheel in.
Let's have somebody in waiting, like ready to jump in. Just we don't tell Van that we've got that backup plan.
It'll just be like the EMTs and shit like that in the background. What happened? I don't know. He's trying to do something for a podcast and he fucked up. So.
All right. Well, it's been a good show. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody in the chat. The chat's been crazy, and I haven't been paying nearly enough attention to it. So I apologize for that. You guys are awesome. Please show up next week, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 Pacific, whatever it is.
Diego's been calling you names the entire time.
I know. Diego does that. That's normal. He's also been texting them to me, so I did see those.
That's not all.
Yeah. All right, but before both of Dan's feet fall asleep, we gotta bail. Thank you guys. This has been Third Wheel Arcade episode. I don't remember, 569 something. We'll see you guys next week.